Welcome, everyone, to 24/7 Sports. I'm Tom Loy alongside the 105 guys. We've got Director of Scouting Andrew Ivins and National Analyst Cooper Patagna. Signing day is right around the corner, so we're looking at 2025 recruiting classes all across the country and bringing fans a look at their soon-to-be signees. We're going to hit a few superlatives to clearly state our take on where things stand with these prospects. Today, we're looking at Texas A&M. The Aggies currently have the number 7 ranked recruiting class in 2025, and there are 22 commits set to play for head coach Mike Elko. Andrew, we will start with you. We got the early draft pick potential, a guy with elite traits, but also somebody who might find himself selected in the first round of years from now, the NFL draft. Ivan, who do you got?
Well, with Mike Elko running the show, no shortage of options here. I'm going to go with DJ Sanders, our number 11 ranked defensive lineman. He's a clump of hair in the drain, right? He just clogs it up there in the middle. This is a guy that reminds me of Michigan's Kenneth Grant. If you go back and watch what Kenneth Grant did in high school, you compare it to what DJ Sanders has done as a senior, I think the tape is eerily similar. They got identical track and field throwing numbers, great explosion scores. To me, DJ Sanders, I mean, this is a guy that can impact the play every single snap. Probably going to need to get the body right. But, man, you look at his production year over year at Bellevue. In 45 varsity games, he's got 35 sacks and 40.5 tackles for loss. That's impressive when you bake into the fact that this guy's over 320 pounds. So, to me, DJ Sanders, I think he's a guy that could walk across the stage one day and shake hands with the NFL commissioner night 1 or night 2.
I'm going to go with the lone 5-star in the class. I'm going to go with Hassan Longstreet, the quarterback out of Centennial there in California. And this is a guy, after you watch Marcel Reed and what he did to LSU on Saturday, you think, all right, I kind of like the fit of Longstreet in a Colin Klein offense, especially the way that he's utilized his legs as a senior. We've seen more of the athlete than we have in years prior. On top of that, 11-inch hands, big old mitts for a guy that's only 6'1". The command he has over the football, I think, gets you really excited. A guy that I kind of compared to Russell Wilson, a little bit in stature, a little bit of the athlete, but the way that this guy can make every throw on the field as well. And I love the way that he's competitively wired. We got to see him at Elite 11 finals in LA, played through an injury that kind of hampered him, but made it out for all 3 days. So I'm a big fan of Hassan Longstreet, what he can be. Certainly one of those guys still hanging around, the number 4 quarterback and the last one in the top 32. But, you know, I'm going to ride the wave here and stick with him.
I am also going with quarterback Hassan Longstreet. Love the talent, love the arm strength, love the demeanor. Very excited for his potential in College Station. Day 1 impact, a guy who will see the field early and often in year 1. Cooper, who do you got?
Well, we talk about guys with an up arrow ascending players all the time. How about Rashad Johnson? I think as a guy that Andrew and I have studied along with the rest of the scouting team at 24/7 Sports, the more you like him, the more you love him. Not only the player, but the athlete as well, what this guy can do. He lights it up, green numbers all over the place, but he's a football player, right? So with a guy that can do a lot of different things, he can play the deep third, you can play him in the slot, he's physical and run support as well. I think he's going to be an immediate impact player on special teams too. If he can't find his way onto the football field on defense, I think he'll crack the 2 deep relatively easy. This is the type of guy that you want to sign up and make sure plays for your football team. I just love the way that he plays once he straps that helmet on. So Rashad Johnson would be my pick there.
Coop, you stole my notes here. Rashad Johnson right in my backyard. That's the guy I wrote down as well. And what's crazy, Texas A&M's got like a bit of a logjam in that secondary. It's going to be hard for Rashad Johnson to kind of walk into playing time, but I believe just that much in him. Through 8 games as a senior, he's got 4 interceptions. Let's not forget the fact that Texas A&M pried this kid away from Georgia, and he fits that Kirby Smart defense with his physicality, what he's able to do. You said it. I think you can play him in a boundary safety role. I think you can put him in the nickel. Heck, he can rush the passer. He's played some tight end on Friday nights as well. This is a kid that has been one of the biggest risers. This time last year, he was taking visits to Florida Atlantic. Now he's headed to Texas A&M. I agree. I think he's going to be on multiple special teams units. You're going to see him on some PFF graphics in 2025.
I was really close to taking Rashad Johnson as well, but I went with linebacker Noah McHale. As long as he sticks, there is some smoke out there with Oregon, but as long as he sticks with A&M, I see him playing early. Linebacker, special teams. He's just a guy that's a super productive, talented football player. I like him to play early at A&M. Boomer bust, an intriguing guy who could potentially outperform or underperform their current ranking. Kind of a mystery. Ivan, who do you got?
I wrote down Hassan Longstreet here, and look, I get it, guys. Big fan, super fan of him. My question with him, durability, right? He's been dinged up all 3 years. Cooper, you mentioned the injury there at the Elite 11 finals, kind of missed the first few games of his senior season. You get around him, right? He's only listed at 6'1", but he feels like he's 6'3". He's got this imposing frame, super muscular, thoracic mobility through the charts. I know that's really nitty gritty. To me, consistency, right? He'll put some 2 balls out there and you're like, whoa, all right, I want this guy on my team. And then there were some other times where he makes some decisions where you're kind of scratching your head. Reminds me, play style wise, a little bit of Jalen Milroe. Don't think he gets enough credit as a runner. He's as a senior, close to 500 yards on the ground. Go back to his junior season. His team needed him. He had 5 rushing touchdowns in a game. He gets it done. And I think for Mike Elko, Colin Klein, this is a gritty quarterback. This is what they want. So Hassan Longstreet, biggest question, hey, can he stay healthy? Because they're going to probably run him a lot there in College Station.
I'm going to go with Coyote Armstrong. And these type of guys, I feel like we're just batting 50% on. These big freak of nature, 6'6", 250 pounds. Is he a tight end? Is he a defensive lineman? And this is a guy that was on Andrew's Freaks List, basketball background, multi-sport guy, also played baseball as well. You see him on the offensive side of the football, he's pretty natural, and it's hard not to like him. So one of those players that I think you get into Texas A&M, you give him a year or two to develop, see how he can really kind of blossom in that offense, Drew. I like this kid. I think this kid's got a big physical ceiling. With these type of players, Elias Williams included, another guy on your Freaks List going to Georgia, it just seems like it's either one side or the other, a little bit of a coin flip, whether or not they work out. So Coyote Armstrong kind of fits perfectly in that category for me.
I also went with Coyote Armstrong. He's number 84 overall with your guys' rankings at this point. But if he ends up being a Mackey Award winner, potentially a first-round pick down the road, right in the back end or early second-round pick, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I know A&M's fired up to have him on the offensive side of the ball. Diamond in the rough, a 3-star prospect who could surprise some people down the road, really emerge as a high-level talent or potentially even get drafted. Cooper, who do you got, man?
Yeah, this is low-hanging fruit for me. Tristan Norman is a guy that I've been scouting for quite some time. You go back to him working out in Montgomery at an all-gas showcase. He only had Eastern Kentucky, and I followed him through the years, worked out in Atlanta in February. Andrew got to see him along with the rest of the team. And has really emerged here as a senior, playing well at Carver. I think he's going to be a high-volume number 3 target, a guy that can take the top off of a defense as well. Smooth mover. Love this kid. Love the potential upside here. And I think this really is that out of all the guys that we have talked about so far throughout all of these series that we've done on multiple programs, Tristan Norman is the one guy in this category that I think fits it to a T. Really, really excited about his future in College Station.
Okay. My guy's a 4-star prospect, but he's the lowest ranked of the 10 inside the top 247. So I'm stepping out here with the diamond in the rough, but someone in College Station told me Marco Jones was the gem of this recruiting class. 6'5", 230 pounds. He's playing off-ball linebacker. I think his future is going to be on the edge. He's number 14 edge defender for us right now. Someone that I think could climb in the rankings. His ability to just get sideline to sideline, he can dip and come around the corner. He's got a multi-sport background, really talented baseball player that was at the area code games. Look, if Jordan Lockhart is playing as a true freshman for the Aggies, I think Marco Jones is someone that could get into the rotation as a situational pass rusher year 1 as well.
We're all on the same wavelength because I was really torn between Tristan Norman and Marco Jones. I ended up going with TK Norman. Saw him multiple times in the offseason, early in the offseason. Like you said, Cooper, he didn't have too much, but man, he was a playmaker on the 7-on-7 circuit, and I think that continues while he's in College Station at Texas A&M. That wraps it up. As I said before, we're going to continue hitting a bunch of schools moving forward, leading up to December's early signing period. But for Andrew Ivins and Cooper Patagna, I'm Tom Loy. As always, stay locked to 247sports.com.